All right, what's up? It's your boy Adam. I'm giving it to you raw. Raw. We're going full raw dog on the videos right now. And I had to do an intro for today's video because the swear words just started pouring out of my mouth right off the bat. And unfortunately for YouTube's algorithm, or their checker that they run your video through, if you go on a tirade like that within the first 2 minutes of a video, they'll demonetize you and you can have problems. But after the 2 minute, it's like I should just have a bell that rings after 2 minutes, and then it's like, all right, you can say whatever you want now. But for the first 2 minutes, you got to keep your cool. So what you're about to watch, keep in mind, it starts out a certain way, but it changes direction at some point. And all I'm going to say is I challenge any of you to not be foul-mouthed and angry in the situation that I'm in right now, because the situation I'm in right now keeps getting worse day after day. Like literally every day is worse than the day before. And it's unbearable. I have really reached the point of my limit in terms of how much I can handle. It's gone. It's been reached. I've been saying this for a while, and I have reached it. So I have to ask, I got to really sit down with God today. I got to get my hair cut. I'll feel better. Can't take a shower anymore. Not at all. But I have to get my hair cut to at least feel like somewhat of a human being again. I can't even afford to get my hair cut, but I'm just going to have faith that the money will all work itself out. Now we're past the 2 minute mark, so I can swear. And so all I'm going to say is watch the whole video. I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments about he's just an angry guy who all he does is sit around and complain. I'm just giving it to you raw. Like, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. These are the things. This is the struggle that you're going to face if you fuck it. If you fuck up your life, I'm past the 2 minute mark. I can say it. If you fuck up your life and make a dumb fucking mistake like I did, your life's over. Your life's over. I'm serving a life sentence for mean tweets. And so you're about to see just another raw day of what it's like when you're going to live the rest of your life one skip away from being homeless again. What's going on, everybody? You hear the noise in the background? Just in case you can't hear it through the phone, here's what I'm listening to all day. This place has become so fucking oh shit. There goes my algorithm for the day. This place has become completely unbearable. Unbearable. It's completely unlivable in every possible way. I know the landlord's full of shit when he told me why the previous tenant had to leave. Said that the neighbors, that's who's making all the noise right now. Oh my God. I can't do this. I can't live here anymore. Listen to me. I can't even formulate thought anymore. This place it's nonstop toxic abuse to my system. 24 hours a day now. You can hear the traffic in the background. I listened to a couple of videos recently, and all you can hear, if I pair it with a Bluetooth speaker and I'm listening, I'm like, wow, you can really hear how loud the traffic is outside. And believe me, it's 10 times louder than what you hear in the video, because the microphone on the phone is a condenser mic to some extent, so it blocks the background noise and amplifies the up close noise. Most phones have a microphone that will do that to an extent, and electronics inside that help. That's what helps you be able to hear each other on the phone when you're talking on the phone. And so, even with a condenser mic, oh my god, dude, the whole fucking place is shaking. It's completely unlivable. It's unlivable anymore. So this morning I was woke up. I needed to get up anyway, but I was woken up at around 7 or 8 in the morning. The lawnmower people were here. So that's loud. There's a crew that comes and does the lawn. So I think they have. I don't even look out the window because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see what's outside these windows. Like, people call me out and say, "Why do you keep your curtains closed all the time?" Because what's outside these fucking windows is more depressing than having the windows closed. That's not how I normally don't live like that, but it's more depressing to have the windows open than closed here. I already tried it, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. I can't have this window open. I don't want to see outside. And so, yeah, the lawnmower people were here. The lawn needs to be mowed. I mean, the grass was getting tall, and they're probably on some sort of schedule every other week or whatever it is. I don't know, but normally I'm like, whatever. They're here and gone. But the noise here is just nonstop. It never fucking stops. If it's not one thing, it's the another and 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 another, and it never fucking ends. It never ends. I haven't had one quiet moment in this fucking place where I can't hear some ridiculously loud fucking noise coming from somewhere, shaking the foundations of this building that I'm in, which has pretty much I mean, this thing could just collapse at any moment. I'm sure of it. But anyway, so yeah, I had to listen to the lawnmower people. I think they have like a zero turn. To be honest, I don't even know how they get so another dilapidated thing about this property is the front gate. There's a gate that I have to open and close to get my bicycle in and out of the yard, and it's impossible to open this gate because the door is all off its hinges and it's all falling apart, and it's a dirt driveway, and he's got this goofy ass wheel on the bottom of the door that just digs into the dirt, and you can't actually open. Like, I wrestle with this fucking gate day after day after day just to open and close it. It's fucking miserable just to crack it open far enough to squeeze through with my bicycle. Literally every single thing this guy does is a complete shit show, and nothing has ever been fixed right. The whole everything this guy does is just a complete shit show. Everything. It's so depressing. It's so fucking depressing. So now, so anyway, the lawnmower people were here. There's probably 3 or 4 of them that you can hear someone on what sounds like a zero turn mower. I don't even know how they get it into the yard, because they're probably that gate. I hope the gate just falls off its hinges, and I hope it's not when I'm opening the door, because that would make my life a little easier. But I don't know how they get the fucking lawnmower in to the yard, because that gate, you can't open the fucking door. It probably takes all 4 of these people to open the gate far enough to get the lawnmower into the yard. That's number 1. And but then you've got to listen to that guy on the zero turn. Then there's people with weed whackers and blowers, gas powered blowers, and they're walking all around the building that I'm in, really close to the windows, and okay, fine. It's something that has to be done. I don't complain about that more than I am right now because it's part of having a home. You mow the yard. Fine, it happens. They were here and gone, no more than an hour to start to finish, but it's loud and it's hard to concentrate, and so I'm just drinking my coffee and relaxing, waiting until the noise goes away. Well, as soon as they're gone, 15 minutes later, these fucking neighbors next door turn on this fucking, it sounds like a power washer. It sounds like a gas powered generator. It's about as loud as my generator used to be at my old house. I thought for a minute, I'm looking around, I'm like, the power's on? What? I thought somebody had a generator running at first. And I'm like, I'm on a phone call and I can barely hear. I'm wearing Bose soundproof headphones and I can barely hear the phone call because this noise kicks up outside. And it's these fucking neighbors making all this noise. All right, fine. Like, if this was a once in a while thing, it wouldn't bother me. But like every single time I sit in front of my fucking computer in this fucking nightmare, I'm interrupted it's like I'm under spiritual attack. Not like something's going on that's much deeper than. In fact, I had my friend that I'm working for right now. We were talking about it today. He was talking about there's an anniversary coming up to some video he made. He was talking about an anniversary of some sort. A year ago on such and such date, this happened, and this kicked off my whole, or it was several years ago, but it was on a day that's coming up soon. He was just talking about the significance of a date. And I was like, huh. I was like, I got a similar story. I'm like, a year ago on April 3rd was the first day I got home from prison. Set foot in the apartment the first day that I got home from prison. And so, I got random. I cannot formulate a complete thought right now. The morning's gone. The morning's until they shut that fucking contraption off, I can't do a thing. I have to get my hair cut today. Can't take a shower yet. Still can't take a shower. It is now April 17th. Yep, it is now April 17th. Haven't been able to, still can't take a shower. Water doesn't run. Would you, if you lived in a fucking shithole slumlord dump to where you, oh my God, they just shut it off. Wow. I have to expect they're going to turn it back on at some point, but it feels good for however long it's going to be off. If you had to live in some shithole slumlord ridden dump and you couldn't take a fucking shower for February, March, and now halfway through April, would you be losing your fucking mind by about now? And combined with several other problems that you've experienced since this has been the most toxic fucking shit show I've stepped into since, honestly, it's the worst rental I've ever experienced in my life. Like leaps and bounds above the worst. And now this guy thinks he's going to charge me. He's going to charge me more money to live in squalor. Fuck him. Fuck him. I'm not. That's not happening. So, this is fucking too much. I can't stop swearing. I'm so fucking pissed off right now. And he threw this at me. So anyway, the anniversary thing. I'm going to try. It's 11 minutes. Oh, man. I'm going to shoot when I get done with this video, I'm going to shoot a little intro to it where I don't swear. And then I'm going to put the intro before the video so that I don't swear in the first 2 minutes, because that will that gets you. YouTube doesn't want to put ads on the video unless you wait until 2 minutes to start swearing, and I was going at it right away. So but I'm trying to calm down and I can't. Like, I'm so fucking pissed right now. I can't. My mind is just completely shot out. I can't focus on anything at all anymore. So here's an example. Watch this video. Watch this last set of videos from April 3rd to today. Horn honking. You hear horn honking, sirens, loud mufflers, generators, power washers, lawn mowers, just nonstop fucking noise. Nonstop, 24 hours a day. I got up in the middle of the night. It was like 1 in the morning. It literally sounds like I'm living in a cardboard box underneath overpass on an interstate highway. That's how loud it is here. And all of these things are adding up. It's not just one thing. It's not just one thing that's causing me to lose my fucking mind over this. It's literally just one thing after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next, that this fucking slumlord piece of shit keeps dishing out, that are all accumulating to push me over the edge. It's not just, if it was just one or two things, I could deal with it, but it's an onslaught. It's day after day after day. And I'm working on the situation more than I can say. But it's just a bad situation that I need to fix. Now, back to the anniversary. I was talking about this in the last video, that April 3rd of 2024 was the day I set foot in an apartment for the first time after prison. And April 3rd of 2025 was the day, not only the day that the landlord came at me threatening me and demanding that I pay more money or I can be out on my ass at the end of the month and homeless again, and all these other threats, and that's also the day the hot water completely stopped working, where I went from having lukewarm water to just ice cold water, and now I have no water, at least for the shower. I can flush the toilet and I can have a cold water stream out of the sink, and that's it. That's all I got. April 17th. So you combine the water situation and the fact that every time he says he's going to fix it, they come over and the situation's worse than it was the day before. You combine that with the fact that I had to have him fix this, put something on the ceiling to stop the spray foam insulation from raining down on me all the time and covering everything, including my fucking food. You combine that with with everything else, and then look back at everything I've been through over the last year. I need a fucking space to just sit and fucking relax for 5 fucking minutes without having to deal with someone's fucking bullshit. So, like, the level of anger I have right now is so intense, so fucking intense, that it takes everything I have. I don't know how to be productive now. Like, I just don't know what to do. I mean, well, I know what to see. The thing is, I'm doing what I know what to do. We're just going to have to talk about it later. I think so the significance, I was talking to my friend this morning, and he also doesn't believe that the date, April 3rd, was the day I came home from prison and actually set foot in an apartment and got to sit in a chair for the first time. Like, got to, like, just start to decompress and start to, like, I could open a refrigerator and get a coffee out of it. I could, there were things that I could, I had some food. I could just, I could sit down and eat a meal and, do the things that you do when you have a roof over your head for the very first time since August of 2022. April 3rd last year was the first day. And then April 3rd, exactly 1 year later, this landlord flips a switch in me. Like, things were bad. Things have been bad since I moved in here, but you can see the difference after he threatened me and after he started his bullshit, taking his bullshit to a whole nother level. You've seen me at a whole nother level. And I can't wrap my head around it. Why did it happen on the exact same day? Like, what's the significance of it? What does it mean? It has to mean that's not a coincidence. That's what my friend is telling me. He's like, you got to figure out what God is trying to tell you here, or like what, like is that like the catalyst that's going to, like, I'm at a crossroads maybe where my actions will determine the course of how this is going to go. Is this like a test for me to keep my cool and trust God and just believe with all my heart that he's going to work it out for me and I'm going to be better off because of this situation than I would have been otherwise, and somewhere down the road, however long it is, a month, 2 months, a few weeks, whatever, 6 months, there's going to come a moment where I turn around and I go, that's why it happened. That's why it happened that way. And that there might be a day where I realize if this didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am right now. You know what I mean? Like, there are moments like that throughout the last year where who wants to be homeless? Who wants to be homeless? But if I didn't become homeless, I think there are, like, you and I wouldn't be talking right now. The chat back and forth, the audience, the friends that I've made because of this video series, because of this YouTube channel, all of those things. If I didn't become homeless, that wouldn't have happened. None of that would have happened. I wouldn't have, and in a lot of ways, I wouldn't be sitting where I am right now, talking to you guys. And so there's that's all, thinking about that's already helped me to cool off and get over, I'm not listening to that noise right now. I'm thinking about, sometimes these negative things turn into positive things, and something happens as a result of the negative thing that takes you to a whole nother positive level. And it wouldn't have happened if you didn't go through the negative thing to get there. You know what I mean? Like, it's the path. Here it is. Like, I don't know, can I look at it like being in Houston, and if you got to go from point A to B, there's only one way to get there. And you might have to go through the ghetto to get there. You know what I mean? Like, I might have to get from where I live uh, to something else. I might have to go through a ghetto, a crack house, particle board window, bars on the windows, ghetto, spray paint numbers on the buildings. I might have to go through that neighborhood to get where I'm going. But where I'm going might be really cool and worth the risk. Worth the risk. Um, uh, hold on. I'm gonna take a minute to chill. I'm gonna make an intro video for this video, and then I'm gonna come back and pick up where I left off. Here we go with the noise and the traffic again. So probably I might run out of space as I'm talking to you guys on the phone. It doesn't flash the low space warning anymore. It used to. I don't know why. It's just uh so my friend was talking about the law of entropy today. And in science, I'm not going to look up the definition because I can't do anything when I'm recording unless I switch apps. And so anyway, but in a nutshell, in science, the law of entropy is that any system left on its own without being acted upon by an outside force will eventually break down and fall apart and become chaos or just stop working. You know, your car engine, if you just leave it running on its own and you walk away and there's no outside force, eventually the engine's just going to die. It's going to stop running. It's going to run out of gas. And then if you just let it sit and let it sit and let it sit, eventually it'll sit so long that you'll never be able to get it started again because it'll seize up. You know, a car is not meant to sit for, you know, it's you leave a car sit for 6 months and you could cause damage depending on the vehicle and depending on some things. You're supposed to at least run the vehicle and run the engine on a regular basis so that, because it's designed to not sit still. It needs to be acted upon by an outside force or it will break down. And so that's the whole premise of God created the world and the universe and everything in it, because if there was no creator, how the fuck would all of this stuff exist? You know, like these Democrats, the Darwinists, they want you to believe that life evolves and keeps getting better completely on its own. That, you know, some single-celled organisms turned into multi-cell organisms, and eventually somehow a dolphin turned into a wolf. I've heard this before. They say, oh, wolf is the ancestor of a wolf is a dolphin. I'm like, really? Really? Okay, so where is the fossil record? And okay, so Darwinists believe in survival of the fittest. They believe that the creatures that are most suitable for their environment will be the ones that survive, and the creatures that are least suitable for their environment will be the ones that die. So that's why you have a dolphin that thrives in the ocean and you have a wolf that thrives out in the woods. Well, if the dolphin eventually turned into the wolf, what good is a retarded half dolphin, half wolf flopping around? What fucking good is that? How is that going to how is a fucking retarded ass dolphin half wolf gonna survive in the wild when we're talking about survival of the fittest? This fucking dolphin's like bark, 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 bark. A fucking wolf flopping around with a fin trying to run around the fucking woods with two flippers and a fin, but it's got fur and it barks. Arf, 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 arf. Yeah, that thing's gonna get eaten by a pack of wolves, probably. That's probably gonna get eaten by a pack of wolves, a bear. What other animals could pretty much anything could eat that? How's a half retarded dolphin half wolf gonna defend itself against an animal? How's it gonna run away? How's it gonna survive? How's a retarded ass half dolphin half wolf gonna eventually become a wolf? Fucking idiots. So I remember Isaac Newton said something about the human eye. The human eye is so complicated and so intensely complex that it couldn't have just happened on its own. Like just the eye of your eye is so complicated and so complex and so many intricate parts that all work together, and the whole thing, that it couldn't have possibly just evolved from a puddle of ooze over millions of years. A puddle of ooze left for millions of years on its own would, in millions of years, be a puddle of ooze. That's what it would be. It wouldn't be anything. It doesn't, like, the shit just doesn't happen on its own. There's an outside force. In fact, if the outside force were to leave us, the entire world would just completely fall apart. That's why we're watching the world completely fall apart now, because God's kind of like stepped back. He's like, you fucking people can have at it. He'll intervene here and there, but in order for people to have their own free will, he's got to step back and say, let these people fuck it all up on their own. And then when it gets so bad that I can't take it anymore, I'm going to come back and I'm going to set shit straight. And then you'll all be able to see how bad you all fucked it up without my intervention. And you'll be able to look back and say, okay, yeah, we do need God, because look how great it is now. And so I think there's a lesson for me there. It's like, I just can't. It's like, it's starting to, like, I don't understand this. But the fact that, I was going a little, things were going downhill in this place. But I was expecting to be here till the end of the lease, and I had no problem with that. I had lukewarm water. I had, I had these problems here, but I'm like, I just paid my third month rent. I've got 3 more payments and I'm out. I can save up money. I can do this gracefully. I can upgrade in a few months. I didn't have an exact plan, but that was the plan. I was even willing to I was even willing at one point to try to get a car. And if I got myself a car, sign another 6-month lease here. Now I can't do that. Um, so I can't get a car. I got to figure this out without having a car again. Been out of prison for over a year and I still can't get myself a fucking car. 2 bicycles. I can barely keep 2 bicycles working tip top. Because that still costs money. It just doesn't cost as much as a car. And I can't have a junky bicycle. And it's not an arrogance thing. It's not a materialistic thing. It's a practical thing. When you ride 20 miles each way to go to a job, you need it to be reliable. You need it to be quick. I can't be riding around on some Walmart Huffy that's going to fall apart halfway to the fucking bakery and leave me stranded. So it doesn't mean I need a $12,000 bicycle, but it means I need something reliable, and I need something that actually works and it's efficient, and I can do this day after day, and the parts are durable, and then I can expect that they, if this Cannondale that I'm riding, the Red Rocket, most of the parts on this bike are from 1995. If they lasted this long, they'll probably keep going. So, but the anniversary, I gotta keep circling back. I gotta see what time it is. Okay, I've got 1 hour, so I'm gonna go about another 15-20 minutes, and then I gotta get over to get my hair cut. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to try to be productive today and try to be a new man, try to be a new person, try to figure this out. It's Thursday. I got Thursday and Friday to try and bang something out. Time management's fucking gone. It's gone. Um, You got to take a deep breath sometimes. This isn't the first time I've been overwhelmed by anxiety or anger. So you just gotta cool off, breathe. But a year ago, April 3rd, I came home from prison. Then on April 3rd, this situation that I'm in right now became unlivable. Unlivable. Before April 3rd, it was livable, it just wasn't good. On April 3rd, it became unlivable, unconscionable, unlivable, unacceptable. It became all three on that day. And I'm like, it's exactly 1 year later. Exactly 1 year later. And I'm like, there's a message, there's something there. Is this the turning point? If I finally hit the turning point where, because of what happened on April 3rd this year, it's going to kick off something that would have been better if it didn't happen. Or that it did what happened on April 3rd just, a couple weeks ago, did that kick off something that's going to end up better than things would be if that didn't happen? That's what I got to try and believe that, because I'm having a hard time with it. Because a year ago, April 3rd was the day I found out I'm probably going to be homeless. And on May 17th, I was. So from April, I think that's 45 days. I think that's what it was. And on April 17th, so, or on May 17th, I was walking into Jamestown with a 50, 60 pound backpack. Completely, had absolutely no idea what was about to happen. And now I'm just thinking, is this April 3rd? So it's like, it's hard to get my head out of that space where, look how bad everything got after April 3rd, and by May 17th, you were out in the street and homeless. This April 3rd mirrors that. Like, and immediately, like, I've got a knot in my stomach right now as I'm thinking about all the possibilities, all the things that could happen, but haven't happened. But remember, the other day, I was coming home and I had this like premonition about something that happened, but it didn't happen. It was all in my head. But that's where my mind, it's hard to combat that tendency that I have to always expect the worst. Because sometimes the worst happens. It's not always, but right now I could say that the worst has happened here. The tiny house has turned into a giant nightmare. And it's having an effect way beyond not being able to take a shower. It's like dug in deep, and it's causing me some significant, it's causing me health issues, mental health issues. It's causing me to be unable in any way, shape, or form to work on anything productive. I had a little issue with my office chair this morning. I sat in the chair and the gas piston was like stuck, and I didn't lose my shit over it, but I was irritated. I was like, "Come on, not today!" When I'm listening to the the gas powered motor outside the window that the neighbors were running and all that stuff, and a couple of squirts of tri-flow on the piston, it starts working like it's supposed to again. That's all it took. I just went into my bicycle bag, pulled out the tri-flow spray, pss, 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 It's done. But it was just like every little thing. These even a little thing like that is just digging in deep. It's like just it's like Chinese water torture at some point where every drop of water is agony. Maybe not for the first day or two, but after like a week, it's causing you every time that drop hits your forehead, you just want to put a bullet in your head. I'm not saying that's what I want to do. It's not what I want to do. But I'm just saying that these small things add up to a great deal of stress. And it's impossible to I don't know a human being who could deal with the level of stress that I'm dealing with right now, but I know that people have dealt with worse things than me. Much worse. In fact, I know somebody I work with who's got now, there's somebody I work with whose mother and sister are both in health crisis, like going, simultaneously getting surgery on the same day kind of things. And she's a little bit and there's others, I can tell that the job is stressful that she does. And she wants to do a good job. She's a good person. Like I really have a lot of respect for a lot of the people I work with at the bakery. I really do. It's like it's not a bad it's a good lesson for me in a lot of different ways aside from just having a job. Um I don't really like I don't think I mean I complain about it in the sense that it's a tough job for very little money and it's not helping me advance. It's almost leaving me stuck, but at the same time I'm working on something else right now and it was like it was weird, but here's the thing. Here's a positive maybe. Um and this is like I think this is my battle right now that I have to figure out how to fight more than the obvious. Um I keep telling you guys how I got to check the time. Okay, we're in good shape. I keep telling you guys how I keep trying to make adjustments at the bakery so that I can juggle that job and the freelance stuff. And it seems like I think this happened. I can't, my mind is cloudy, but I worked out an arrangement because one of my clients wants to do continuous work. He wants to do something that's going to require non like a dedicated amount of time week after week after week after week to accomplish his goal. It's not a one and done job. It's a continuous effort kind of a job. And it's going to take time to get things moving and I'm within in a perfect world, I'm going to be able to share a really cool video with you guys in a perfect world it would be sometime this weekend, but in a chaos ridden world it's probably going to be a little longer than that. I don't know. Some things today is going to tell me when I can do this. To honestly, what I can accomplish before I go to sleep tonight will tell me how long it's going to take. But there's a really cool video I want you to see. And I'm going to talk, like, there's some more. But this client, everybody's going through their own personal hell right now. Everybody I know is going through something right now. Like, there's just something in the air. We're all being attacked. There's a spiritual war going on right now. We're on the brink of World War III on any given day. And, our country's in a civil war right now. The United States. We're not lining up shoulder to shoulder and shooting each other across a fucking field. We're not even really shooting at each other, but there's no, I mean, you cannot see what's going on in our country right now and not see that we are in a civil war. The dingbats that live in the city are fighting the people that live in the country, basically, instead of the North versus the South. And because the Democrats took over all the cities in America, somehow turned them into these crack ridden ghettos, falling apart, trash everywhere, smells like fucking piss everywhere you go, complete fucking shitholes, cities, and yet the people still keep voting for the Democrats that made them that way. And then we've got the people that live out in the country that don't want these fucking douchebags that run all the cities telling them what to do. And we're in a civil war right now. It's the cold, we let's call it the cold civil war. It's a cold war. It's not hot, but there's a civil war going on right now, no doubt about it. Everybody, all the blue hates the red, and the red hates the blue, and it's deep. It's deep on both sides, and I don't think it's ever gonna get better. My own opinion. I chose my side. I'm on Team Red. I don't agree with everything Red does. I'll talk about that all day long, but if we're gonna pick sides, I'm certainly not gonna be on fucking the pronoun ridden retard brigade. That's for sure. They, them can go fuck they themselves, as far as I care. But at least at least the women on Team Red still look like women, and they don't have penises, so that's an upgrade right off the bat when you choose the red team. So I don't know, what else do we got to talk about here? Chaos, entropy, April 3rd. I don't know what April 3rd is all about. Why this happened on April 3rd. Why things switched from being difficult but acceptable to completely unacceptable and uninhabitable and unconscionable and unlivable, all on that day. And it's like I'm surrounded by chaos now, complete and total chaos, to the point where every time I sit in front of that computer, the computer right over there behind the camera, I can't. As soon as I open that screen, as soon as I start typing, as soon as I start doing my work, something happens, something blows up, and I'm pulled right away from it, which tells me I'm supposed to be doing that. Satan doesn't want me anywhere near that fucking computer right now. Like, Satan doesn't want me to sit. Satan does not want me to sit in front of that computer screen anymore. He wants me to be out riding my bike, working, barely scraping enough money to survive. He doesn't want. He knows I've got something God wants me to do, and he's doing everything in his power to shut me down. He's trying, and I've got to turn around, and there's nothing. See, the thing is, there's nothing I can do at this point. I don't have any power in and of myself to fix this. God has to do it. Whether he does it through me, whether he makes an end run and does it himself, whether he does it through somebody else, whatever the case may be, it's all going to have to come from him. I just need to sit back and try to cool off and let it happen. Look for, if God wants me, let it happen's not even the right word, because I don't think I've ever been able to just sit in my chair and chill out and wait for God to do something. It's usually I have to get up and do something, and God, if I'm doing the right thing, God will like open the doors and unlock the locks and make things fall into place and make it work. And if I'm going the wrong way, he'll block me at every turn, and I won't be able to get to where I'm trying to go. Especially when I'm asking him all the time to help me to make it obvious. I was watching a video while I was waking up this morning. Richie from Boston, he was doing a live stream with this other dude. He was talking about how he asked God for a sign, and he said, just make it as big as a billboard, make it so I can't possibly miss it. And he said there was someone in the vehicle with him when they were driving, and he said this out loud. He's like, I just need a sign, God. I need it. Just make it as big as a billboard, make it so I can't miss it. And he said he drove by, he was driving down the road, and a billboard showed up, just a big black billboard with a single message written in white text, and it was the exact answer that he needed to hear on a billboard when he had just asked God, give me a sign. I'm an idiot. I don't see it. Can you just make it so obvious, make it the size of a billboard? He's like, make it the size of a billboard so I can't miss it. And like not even a minute later, he drives by a billboard that had the answer to the question that he was asking. And he said he had to pull over to the side of the road and do something about it. And it was like, that's what I need. Sometimes I need that billboard. I need that sign that's so incredibly blunt and obvious that I can't say I didn't see it. And I think that's where I'm at right now. Like, I really need a sign, like a blunt, obvious sign of what do you want me to do, God? I don't know. I don't know. Like, there are four different ways I can go. There are four different plans in the works right now. Literally, four different things that I'm, in terms of the things I'm upset about. There are four different directions that I'm working on going in terms of what I'm doing about the situation here. But I need God to tell me which one it is. Which one do I pick? Because I was talking about it with my friend this morning about the four different options that I could go with about what's going on right now. And he even had opinions about the pros and cons of each path. And I happen to agree with him. And, but anyway, then, so after April 3rd, um, at some point, I don't know what date it was. I don't even know the day, but I'm starting to work with this client of mine on a more regular basis, and it's supposed to free me up because I'm supposed to put in 20 hours a week on this project indefinitely. We're going to go for 2 months and see how far we get, but it's supposed to be just an ongoing effort, 20 hours a week at a certain amount per hour, and it's better than the bakery gig, which means I can work 2 days a week at the bakery, and that gives me 36 hours of reportable time to the probation officer, plus I can add time for all the other things I have to do to keep this freelance business moving forward, which will be above and beyond the 20 hours that I'm spending on that one project. And I should be able to put in enough time, if I can find the peace and quiet that I need to do it. You can't do this kind of creative work. You can't do this in-depth thinking kind of work when your mind is blown. You can do physical labor all day long when your mind is shot. But when your mind is shot, you can't sit down in front of a computer and do creative work. You can't do writing code. You can't do things like that if your mind doesn't work. So I got to get to the point where my mind can work again. I had a much easier time being homeless, going to the library and doing it. Some days were harder than others, but it was possible. Um, it's got some weird stuff going on with. Anyway, it's just. So I'm just giving it to you raw. I'm giving you the raw update of what's going on. And but it almost feels like I'm going to speculate because I don't know for sure. But to me, it feels like Satan doesn't want me to do this work that I'm supposed to be doing. God does. That's why the chaos level has been ramped up 10 times worse than it was at the end of March, because an opportunity came my way to start doing the things I'm supposed to be doing, and Satan's like, fuck that, we got to take him out. Attack, attack, attack. Look at Alex Jones. And I'm not saying that my destiny in life is to sit around bitching about the government all day to make my living. It would be a great job. I'd be good at it. It's like a dream job, to be honest. He's right over here in Austin, 2 hours away. I'm not allowed to go over there, hang out. Not that that's what I would want to do anyway. But the point being, it's that dude's getting attacked harder and harder and harder day after day after day, because he's doing the right thing. He's exposing government corruption. But there must be some sort of divine intervention, because they still can't shut him down. But I guarantee you his job gets harder and harder and harder every day, and he's got to fight harder and harder and harder every day just to survive. But it's because he's doing the right thing. And it's like, so I think that's how I need to shift my thinking, that I must be doing the right thing, because the attacks are getting harder and harder and harder against me. If I was doing what Satan wanted me to do, he'd back off and let it happen. He'd leave me alone. But if I'm doing what God wants me to do, I'm going to get attacked. I'm going to get attacked a lot. And so I don't like it, but it comes with the job, I guess. So with that, I'm going to let you all go, because I got to go get my hair did. And then I'm going to try and come home and feel like a human being again. Even though the only way I can even wash myself now is to... I don't want to go in this guy's house. I don't even like going in there to do the laundry anymore. So I don't want to go and use the shower in there. And I'm not going to capitulate to this. He thinks that if I start just going to the house to use the shower, then he doesn't have to fix the shower out here. Like, that's his line of thought. And he's just going to get rid of this tenant. He's going to keep trying to find a new tenant that'll just put up with nothing working out here. So then he doesn't have to come out and fix stuff. And, but this is all temporary. 6 months from now, 100%, 6 months from now, this situation won't be my problem. No matter what, I won't be here in 6 months. I won't be here. Let's see, what is it? April, May, June, July. 4 months from now, I won't be here for sure. 100% for sure. What happens between now and then, there's like 4 or 5 different paths that I can take. Each has its own benefits, and each has its own detriments. So we'll see what happens. Peace out. Definitely feels a lot better. Oh, it feels a million times better having a clean head of hair. My hair gets so thick it traps the heat, and my whole body temperature, the temperature of my head dropped about 15 degrees, and I can already feel the stress. Every time I get my hair cut when I'm going through like a stressful thing like this, it's a huge release of stress. There's something to that. I don't know. But I'm probably going to be itchy. I'm going to change my shirt when I get home. Probably going to be itchy for the rest of the night because I can't really take a shower and do anything about it. I'm so hungry right now. I could eat so badly. And I'm going to force myself to just walk home and not buy food anywhere. And just dip into the food that I got. Went grocery shopping for a reason the other day. So I'm going to eat that. Probably going to just have a snack. Because, well, I actually, so close. I have like the perfect thing to eat. But all of my cold cuts are in the freezer right now. I think. If they're not, I know exactly what I'm making. But peanut butter and jelly actually don't sound too bad right now. So anything to keep me from stopping at that damn Burger King. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Going home, gonna eat. I'm gonna try to salvage the rest of the day. I don't even think it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon yet. I got plenty of time to get busy. And once I get started on something, I'm usually good to go. It's getting started when chaos is surrounding you and digging into you. My biggest challenge is getting started. It's not, can I keep working once I get started all night long? But it's that first step that's challenging, and that's my problem. Other people have different, stress affects people in different ways. That's how the stress affects me. It makes it to where I'm paralyzed and I can't get started on the things I need to start. So I'm not gonna start right away when I get, fuck you, bitch. Wow. I'm standing here waiting for traffic to go by so that I can cross the street, and some woman just flicked me off, calling me a fucking asshole, probably because I'm standing here talking into a camera. It's not like I walked out in front of her. I hate Houston. I truly fucking hate it here. I hate the fucking people here. I hate this Texas bullshit attitude. I hate the noise. I hate this fucking place with all of my heart and soul. I hate Houston. I hate it here. My goal in life right now is to get the fuck out of here. Peace. Hear that? I don't know if you can hear it in the background. Let me just open the door. You get a taste. However many more hours of this fucking nonsense I gotta listen to while I just, like I said, every single time that I sit down in front of my computer, something happens to keep me from being able to do work and concentrate. I came back from getting my hair cut. The neighbors. Oh, there's something going on with my fucking chair. I think it'll be okay. I think it just needs, hold on, fuck! Let's see. I had to walk past the neighbor's house that's doing all this noise. So what's going on with my chair? I have a gas piston on a Herman Miller Aeron chair, and today, out of nowhere, it starts sticking. So as you sit on it, it's like, it's not a deal breaker. I think all I need to do is, I've been using Teflon lube. It seems to be working itself in there. I don't think this is a permanent problem. I don't need a new gas piston. I think it just needs lubricated. And I'll probably get to the point I'll take some clear lithium grease from my bicycle and just work it into that piston and move the chair up and down and just try to get it into where it needs to get into. And just, it'll probably take the problem away. And it's just one another example of how just small things are adding up. The noise that you just heard, so I walked past the neighbor's house. They're doing like a garage clean out or something, and they had all this stuff out by the road. They had this really beautiful leather ottoman, big giant leather ottoman that just needs a little bit of cleanup, but it looked like it was in perfect condition. They have a great big giant TV, but it's like that's like one of those real heavy ones. There's nowhere to put it in the tiny house here. The ottoman or the TV. They had a couple of stands, like squares, nice looking stands, sitting out by the side of the road when I walked over to get my hair cut. And on my way back, they had a bunch of other stuff. Some people had already stopped and taken stuff. So there was a bunch of free, cool furniture for the taking. And I said hi to the neighbors, you know. I'm not mad at them. I'm really not, for making noise, running, or whatever they're doing over there. I really don't care. It's just nails on the chalkboard to me right now. It's just on my nerves. Everything's getting under my skin right now because of this shit show that I'm putting up with and dealing with. And, you know, there's really nothing I can do about it. But I don't have any room for furniture. I don't want to bring anything into my life at all that I'm going to have to pick up and carry somewhere else. So I just was like, wow, some nice stuff sitting out there. The ottoman was like, if I had room, I'm looking around, I'm like, man, if I had room for that thing somewhere in here, I would bring it in here and set it up, and I'd keep it and just use it some other day. There's just, yeah, but like, there was no noise. The pressure washer or whatever, I don't know what they're using over there. It sounds like a pressure washer cleaning the driveway, whatever they're doing. But that was done. They were done with that. I was sitting here for hours, a couple hours before my haircut. Hadn't really gotten started yet. I figure I'll go get my haircut, come back, and get to town. I made some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I sat down in front of my computer, and I'm just got to adjust my chair. It's like this whole sticky thing is getting on my nerves, but it's like I'm on the Princess and the Pea. I just need it to, like, it's like a millimeter too high or too low right now. But regardless, a gas piston for a Herman Miller chair is like $50. They're kind of a pain in the ass to change. I don't feel like doing it right now, and I really don't think I need one. Here we go with the neighbor's Mustang with the loud ass muffler that shakes the whole tiny house. But I sat down in front of my computer to try and do work, to like get started. And as soon as my ass hit the chair, boom, the power washer turns on. Then they turn off the power washer. Now I gotta listen to this douchebag revving his fucking Mustang with no muffler for probably the next 10 minutes. And it's just like, what the fuck is next? What the fuck is next? It's like, I swear to God, if I took a cardboard box and set up camp underneath the bridge on a major interstate, it would be less noisy than it is in here. And this is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never ends. It's just, it's too much. It's too much. All of this stuff is added up to too much. It's too much. It's too much. I'm really trying. It's 1:08 p.m. right now. I can still salvage this day and get stuff done. I just need to get started. I'm going to put on the soundproof headphones, plug them into my MacBook, put on something to listen to, and that will help block out all the noise that's around me, but I'll still feel the vibrations. I'll still be distracted to an extent, but once I get going, I don't know. Like, my buddy sent me a whole bunch of videos and a whole bunch of stuff to check out I got a lot of stuff in front of me to soak into. I need to get out of this chaos and entropy where everything is literally just falling apart around me and crumbling before my eyes and just falling into more and more chaos. I need to flip this around and go the opposite direction, and I flat out just don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know what to do. I feel like I've done everything I can do, and every time I turn around, it's worse than it was the day before. I finally find a place to live. I get the keys to my own place, and I really do sometimes feel like I'm worse off right now than I was when I was homeless. I could take showers when I was homeless. I can't take showers now. Just one example. I hate this motherfucker. I hate Houston. I hate living in Houston right now. Absolutely fucking hate this place with everything I have. I hate it here. The weather's nice. Everything else about Houston, Texas fucking sucks. It's not the worst place I've ever lived. And I'm trying to get past this. This is how I used to feel when I lived in Pittsburgh for the first couple of years of my time in Pittsburgh. And after all of a sudden I started to like it. I started to find the good things about it. And I started to latch on to that. And then time went by. The more time that passed, the more I liked living in Pittsburgh. Year after year after year, I could say I liked it more and more and more. I did get to the point where it was time to leave. I wanted to get out of the city. I wanted to get away from the suburbs. I wanted to go live out in the country. But that felt like a pipe dream at the time. And then the perfect opportunity literally just fell out of the sky for me to do it. I was scared of it. I didn't know if I could do it. Money-wise, distance-wise, everything was just completely when I signed the paper to move into that house, I was terrified of everything. I thought everything was going to fall apart and that I was making a big mistake, and so did the girl that I was with. She thought it was a huge mistake doing what I was doing. And when it all came down, it was the best decision I ever made in my life. Everything in my life improved from that moment forward. My career stabilized and took off. The distances didn't matter. Turned out it wasn't a big deal. I was able to rework my whole life around it and make my life even better than it was. All the things I was worried about didn't come to pass. In fact, they were the opposite. They were nothing to be worried about at all. So I'm sitting here now in this chaos knowing that I've got to change it. And that's scary, right? I'm going to have to spend more money. If this dingbat thinks he's going to raise the rent so that I can pay more money to live in a fucking slum shithole dump with no shower, and I don't even have a kitchen or anything, it's not even an apartment. It's not even a legit place to live at this point. I thought it would do for 6 months. It's not. And all I'm saying is, according to the law, I could pack my shit, walk out the door right now, today, and he still has to send the security deposit back. In fact, I'm not going to trash the place, but he can't keep any of the security deposit, even if he has a reason to, according to Texas law, because of the fact that he never provided the hot water since day one. And now it's April 17th. I moved in on February 1st. There's so many things in the works. But at the end of the day, I just want my sanity back. Do I want to fucking go to court and go through a whole thing like that? My friend, we were talking about that. if you go down that road, financially, you might stand to get a good chunk of money, but you're going to attract all this other negative. You're going to be so negative, and you're going to be going through this whole negative. You're going to be like what you are right now. Like this whole, like you're going to be in a toxic mindset. And then you're going to attract all, you're going to be a magnet for all the toxicity to come at you. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. The only people that win when you go to court are the lawyers, in my opinion. Nobody wins. So I don't want it to come down to that. But I have more than enough. There's so many violations piled up that if he tries to take me to court for some, because I leave early or because I don't want to pay the increase in rent or whatever, the judge will throw it out right in the trash. He has absolutely no chance. Zero. I've done my homework. He has absolutely zero chance of doing anything to me in court, except giving me another hassle, taking another day away from my life that I can't sit and do what I'm supposed to be doing because I got to go down to a fucking courthouse and put all this stuff in front of a judge and say, look what this guy's been doing. So I don't want it. I just all I want is a place. I want peace and quiet. Peace and quiet. To get peace, I can't have conflict in my life. As much as I might be, mad and want, and I have every right to do it, and I'll win. There's no doubt. Like, I've been told I will win. Period. Like, I have every single... the ball is completely in my favor. Any direction I want to go from here, I win. But do you really win? If I'm gonna lose days of my life and hassle and all this, I want to be in a place where, see that curtain, that beat up old raggedy fucking curtain that hasn't seen an iron since it was pulled out of the package, velcroed to a fucking wall, because why would we put a curtain rod up when we can just velcro it to the fucking wall? Just another example of what's the cheapest, most retarded ass way that I can put this fucking shack together. Dude, when I was a fucking kid, me and my cousin built a better tree fort than this motherfucker can build a cabin. Then we burned it to the ground, but that's another story, so another day. And I don't know, man. I'm so burned out from this. It's literally taking me until 1 or 2 in the afternoon just to get the energy to get started. You can do physical labor when you're mentally fucked, but you can't do mental work when you're mentally fucked. Just like you can't do physical labor with I can't work at the bakery with a broken arm or a broken leg. I wouldn't be able to do the job. I can't work at a job that requires my mind when I have a broken mind. So how do I get to the place where my mind is no longer broken and I can actually function again? Today, it's going to be just getting started. And before I truly get started, there's some things I got to sort out. I got to put together a plan. I think what I'm going to do, like I said in the parking lot, I'm going to work for an hour, take a half-hour break. Work for an hour, take a half-hour break, even if that's all I can do. Yesterday I did half hour of work followed by a 15-minute break. Half hour of work, 15-minute break. Maybe I'll do the 15-minute break. Maybe I'll make it a 15-minute break every hour. but it's just, it's quiet for a second. I'm going to absorb it. I'm going to hit the stop button. I'm going to get started. And I don't know how long this video will be. I don't know what day it's going to get published. I'm just backing them up, and I'll take some time later tonight or tomorrow and queue up a bunch more. I've got a rhythm for it. And so I can record them for a few days and then just queue up 1, 2, 3, 4, schedule them to go live at a certain time and day. And it's just going to tell the story linearly, but there's a delay between when I'm going through whatever I'm going through right now and when you see it show up on YouTube. And there's a strategy behind this that I do have a little bit of, there's something going on. I'm just trying to get to the finish line with it. And we'll see. Well, there's gonna be a video where I lay out a bunch of shit that you haven't heard yet, and we're just gonna go from there. Peace.